I have some good news in my opinion when it comes to Turbo. And what is that? If we take a look at this not too long ago on X, right? From a post by Coinbase Assets, they stated how there was 2 assets added to the roadmap. The first is GigaChat, which is, whatever, right? But then the second one is the one we're all here for, right? The real McCoy, aka Turbo, the meme coin created by AI, which we all know is absolutely fantastic, at least in my opinion. Now, why is this so fantastic when it comes to Turbo? Because we all know the wonders that the Binance and KuCoin listing did for Turbo. And I actually talked about that in my previous videos when that did happen. But even besides that point, eventually, or should I say hypothetically, when Coinbase does, let's say, list Turbo, could you imagine how amazing that could be in terms of price action? Maybe it might not be instant, but then, give it some time, right? Once the bull run is really in 5th gear, this could be so amazing. Because if you actually take a look at CoinMarketCap, they actually have a ranking for like top cryptocurrency exchanges. And more specifically, this list is for top cryptocurrency spot exchanges. But even besides that point, guess who's currently ranked number 3 in the world, at least during the time of this recording? That is Coinbase. I mean, caralho, porra. You have something that could potentially be on Coinbase and then already being on Binance and KuCoin. That is a total game changer right there. Because just imagine this, right? It doesn't really matter how good a project is. If the exposure is complete caca, how is it going to gain traction during a fully fledged bull run? Because the way I take a look at it, theoretically, right? How can people believe in something that they don't know exists? It's like, for instance, look at this collar right here. How do I know what color this collar is if I've never seen it before? You know what I mean? Then I'd just be guessing. I don't know what it is. It's like, for instance, if someone doesn't know what Turbo is, how can they know it even exists? So when it comes to, something like a meme coin more specifically, right? Something that doesn't necessarily have the best use case out there, it needs great exposure. Even like the projects that have a good use case, they also need great exposure too, in my opinion. But when it comes to a meme coin, it's just amplified a lot more because, of course, the use case isn't the best. So it needs a way to supplement that. And I think through something like great exposure is such an amazing way to do that. We've seen this time and time again. Take a look at the exposure for Pepe. It was absolutely amazing. Look at what it did. Take a look at Floki, which I made a very good call on, by the way. That also absolutely pumped, right? Take a look at, for instance, something like, Shiba Inu Dogecoin, the classics, right? The dinosaurs, I would like to call them. Back in 2021, why did they pop off? They were listed pretty much everywhere. They're still pretty much listed everywhere right now, but still, this is why, in my opinion, they're still one of the most massive projects out there and why they're doing relatively pretty good. But despite that, I think Turbo could do a lot better than them during this bull run because keep in mind, 50 cents is around a 46x from here. So could you imagine that? Considering how much Turbo has already pumped, let's say doing an additional 46x from here, hypothetically at least, even though that's not financial advice nor a guarantee, could you imagine that? And it's not like 50 cents is this crazy nonsense thing. If it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $33 billion. Not too bad. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion, SHIB reach around 40 billion. It's kind of like peanuts in the grand scheme of things. But even besides that, why do I think so? It's because take a look at Charles Hoskinson, who not only is the co-founder of Ethereum, but the founder of Cardano. So he has good credentials, right? He actually knows what he's doing. He's within the space, so to speak. So what he says matters a lot. At least that's the way I take a look at it. But here's the thing. On a video on November 26th that he was a part of, what did he say? He said that in the next year to 2 years, so basically in the next 12 months to 24 months, he could very well see Bitcoin being at the price of Ether, $250,000, all the way up to $500,000, $500,000, right? I mean, caralho, porra. Could you imagine if, let's say, Bitcoin doesn't reach his most bullish case, prediction? Let's say the worst case, 250,000. Could you imagine what happens to Turbo then? I'm not talking about only Turbo. I'm talking about just also a bunch of other altcoins. It could be so fantastic. But more specifically, in this case, Turbo, at the price of 50 cents at that point, that would seem like easy peasy. That's just the way I take a look at it. Because keep in mind, Turbo is in a very unique space. Yes, it's in a market that has a lot of competition. It's in the meme coin space, right? But then within the niche that it's in, like this AI space, or should I say like meme coins created by AI, it's kind of like the pioneer. Turbo isn't this revolutionary AI project because, of course, it's not. It's just a meme coin created by AI. More so a marketing gimmick, in my opinion, allegedly. But you know what? If it works, which clearly it's been working because even I believe in it. But even besides that point, I think this right here is such a unique angle to kind of enter the space. Because if they just said, yeah, we're another meme coin, that's not cool, man. That's not fun. That's not interesting. So we need something that's unique. And I think this one is hypothetically that. Now, could you imagine this, right? Do I think that when it comes to like, Bitcoin, could it reach maybe like $500,000 during this bull run? I think highly unrealistic, even though Charles did predict that as the most bullish case prediction. I think that's a little bit, again, unrealistic, but he's only speculating. I'm only speculating. Like, that could very well happen. Who knows? But even besides that point, again, 250,000, even for a Bitcoin at that time, Turbo could already do so well. Now, here's the thing as well. Some people like to tell me that, oh yeah, if you believe in Turbo so much, why don't you go all in? Well, here's the thing. It's because by dollar cost averaging, the amazing thing about it is that let's say the price dips, I can still accumulate more because I never went all in. But then let's say the price bumps, I don't miss out on it. Instead of just going all in, let's say I went all in on like a certain target, right? And then it went down like 40%. Then I have no more to accumulate. So that's why dollar cost average, that way it can stay, for the long term, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's the way to take a look at it. And not to mention as well, that way, it makes things more exciting, because if like someone isn't able to accumulate anymore, at least from what I've seen, they lose motivation, they give up, they see their portfolio down, they can't lower down their average cost. Sometimes they panic sell, who knows? And anything done under a high emotional state is typically never a good idea, in my opinion, which is why back in early September, when Turbo had that big pullback and it was doing caca, I still accumulated because I still believed in it, and I still even believe in it as of right now. Especially again, the trajectory in which Bitcoin is heading, man, I think better days are ahead. And I think that 2024, this is just a small taste of what's to come, right? I think 2025 is the real deal. I think it's the real McCoy at that time, hypothetically, of course. I think that's going to be a time for something like Turbo to truly shine, but it's just a waiting game again. And you know what? I've been waiting throughout this whole time anyways, waiting, let's say, to 2025. You know what? It is what it is. So the way I view it is that when I see a meme coin this unique, it's a no-brainer pick for me, especially when I take a look at the community being that passionate. I'm not saying it's the biggest out there, but then it's very passionate in my opinion. Because think about this, right? Back in early September when Turbo was doing caca, a lot of people still believed in it. Yeah, sure, the community wasn't like the biggest. It's not the best, but it's very passionate. At least that's the way I view it. Now, if let's say Turbo doesn't get listed in any more new exchanges, I still think it's already more than enough to reach, hypothetically, the price of 50 cents during this bull run. Again, when I consider just how massive this bull run could be and the trajectory for Bitcoin. But you know what? More doesn't hurt. That's just the way to take a look at it. The more, the merrier, as the old saying goes. So I'm excited to see what Turbo could be in the future. And I actually talked about in my previous video how, Binance and KuCoin, it could very well create this snowball effect, right? Where a bunch of other major exchanges take a look at that. They're like, whoa, they're being listed here. They're being listed here. Okay, let's list them as well. And it's kind of beginning to a little bit happen as of right now when it comes to Coinbase. Now, it takes some time to truly know whether or not this will become a reality because, again, it is on the roadmap. So hypothetically, theoretically, right? But then let's say when it fully does launch on Coinbase, this could be so fantastic when it comes to Turbo. And again, I think it can even create more potential for exchange listings in the future. Only time will tell, but I'm very bullish on Turbo. I haven't given up on it, but still 50 cents is my price target for this bull run because I think Turbo is that fantastic and I think it's that unique. I get it. It's a meme coin. Some people think it's caca, but you know what? A meme coin isn't supposed to have a good use case anyways. And this one is very fun, very interesting. So it's a no-brainer pick for me. At the end of the day, at least that's the way to take a look at it. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm a peace. Bye.